Hey guys, welcome back to Faith in the Magic, where we see God's fingerprints in every story. And today I'm going to be talking about Ratatouille. And Ratatouille is one of my favorite Disney movies. I love Remy, and I just love everything about Ratatouille. I did actually try to make Ratatouille before, and the dish was very good. I've never had eggplant before until I tried that, and I still got to try it a little bit more to see if I like it. But the dish was phenomenal, and I'm sure if I tried like the real deal, it'll be stellar. So I can't wait. But let's hop right in. All right, so I wanted to talk about Ratatouille, and just the whole picture of the movie is Remy having this calling of cooking and wanting to be a chef, but knowing that who he is, where he comes from, what he looks like, that would never possibly potentially happen. And, I think we ourselves do that as well. We kind of look at our resume, we look at the degrees, or we look at the things behind our names, or we look at, education, background, resources, connections, networking, and we kind of also do the same thing and count ourselves out. And I'm here to encourage you to not count yourself out. Don't disqualify yourself before you get to the door. Let's get ourselves into the door, get ourselves into the room, and introduce ourselves to people, make those connections and network before passing any judgment. It's almost like how we tell people, don't judge others before you get to know them. Don't put that judgment or that disqualification on yourself before you can give yourself that chance of trying something new. Try whatever that thing is and do it like full-heartedly with all of your energy and all of your might into it. And with Remy, the kitchen was the last place that Remy was supposed to be in. But Remy knew that this is my calling and I am supposed to be doing this. No matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody tells me, no matter even what my dad or my brother or my family tells me of what we're supposed to do and what we're supposed to be like, I know cooking and being a chef is what I'm supposed to do. I have a calling, I have a smell, I have a gift for this. And it takes me back to how I've always said God gives us specifically the gifts that is designed and destined for us, and the talents that is destined to design just for us, for a purpose and for a reason. And in the movie Ratatouille, nobody else in the family was given that touch of cooking, or being able to smell something and be like, oh, I know what's in that dish, or being able to say, oh, this needs a little bit more of this needs a little bit more of that. We all have our eye for what we do in our lives. We all have that calling, and things may have told Remy otherwise, but Remy was very determined and was like, I'm going to be in that kitchen. I don't care what anybody says, I'm going to be a chef. And we have to have that I'm going to do it factor and determination and mindset, no matter what anybody tries to tell us, or what the world tries to tell us that we're supposed to be doing. Go after that dream. Go after that calling that you have on your life. And like the end of the movie says, there's a famous quote, I believe it's at the end of the movie, not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. And that definitely ties into the story of Ratatouille. Like, it looks at the background, it looks at the environment, it looks at maybe any mistakes that are made. God often calls people from unexpected places. I'm sure Remy didn't think that it would have came like it did with becoming a chef, or that opportunity would have presented itself, but it did. And it's all in God's timing. The way God gives us things and how he orchestrates the timing of things is very divine and specific on our lives. And, don't be so wrapped up in everyday life and chaos and the busyness of things that you miss what God is trying to tell you, or you miss what God is trying to do, or the opportunities that he is trying to put in front of you. I just went through a season of, having to be completely still, like literally completely still, because I broke my foot. And during that time, I was struggling because I'm a person that is a go, busy, on the move type of girl, always having something to do and always being busy. I've known nothing else but being busy. So in that moment of stillness and being still and not being able to do much, I struggled because I was like, God, now what? what am I supposed to do? And all he wanted me to do was just sit, be present in his, silence, in his serene moment, and, the things that he's trying to tell you, what he wants you to hear during that time. And I grew so much in just that time that I was off from work and being home. And I discovered so many different things during that time that I would have never discovered. So sometimes we have to just be silent and be still and be like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? All right, God, what now? All right, God, do I take this or do I not take this? We have to be able to have those conversations with him, because he is going to make sure that we make the right decision and stay our course and make the right choices that are going to get us to where he's trying to take us. And what Remy loved was something that he wasn't supposed to love. There's many things that we may want to get into that God's like, that's not for you. I don't want that for you. Everyone around Remy told him that it was impossible. And there may be somebody around you that is putting that negativity into your ear, or has told you your whole life that you're never going to do this, you're never going to do that. Don't get into the mindset of, oh, I got to do this so I can prove them wrong, or I got to do this because this ex, said I was never going to do it, or I was never going to make it. Do it for yourself. We get so wrapped up in, oh, I got to prove it because of this person. I got to prove it because, no. Do it because that is the gift and the passion that God placed into your life and on your heart, because he knew that you were destined for that. Yes, people may tell you that something is impossible. Yes, people may tell you that you aren't supposed to be doing this, you aren't supposed to be doing that. Forget those naysayers, forget those haters, because that's all they are, is haters and drinking on that haterade. God is like, this is for you, and I'm going to keep showing you little glimpses of why this is for you. I'm going to keep showing you little glimpses of what is to come in your future and where you are going, and continue to watch those. But you have to be paying attention to those. Don't, like I said, don't be so caught up in everyday life and the busyness and chaos of life that you miss the moments that God is trying to show you. Be still and be present and listen to God during this season, during these times. And sometimes the gifts God puts in us doesn't match the boxes people expect us to fit in. But calling doesn't always make sense to other people, and it doesn't have to. And I love that, because people will try to put you into a box, try to put you into a category of, oh, your mom did this, your grandma did this, your great grandma did this, your grandpa did this, cousin did this. Oh, now you have to do it. I've seen many people and students specifically that I've talked to over the years that think that they have to do the same profession as their mom did because the grandmom did it, auntie did it, but that's not the case. Everybody has a specific passion and career path that they are supposed to be on. And it's okay to not fit into that box. Don't try to fit into that box. God never anticipated for us to sit and be in a box. God never wants anybody to be in a box. Just like in the line Dirty Dancing, nobody puts baby in a corner. God doesn't put you in a corner, and God does not put you in a box. So don't try to fit into what people expect you to be or what people expect you to do, because we don't live our lives for other people. We live our lives for the glory of God, and to make sure that we are doing what he is asking us to do and what he has called us to do. And I want you to be so encouraged with whatever your calling is on your life, and whatever dream you have. If it's a dream you had since you were younger and you kind of like wrote it off because you let the people get into your ear, you let people say things and, kind of deter you, get back on that course, get back on that dream that you had, and keep dreaming. Just dream again. I think this is the time for us to, in this world and what is going on, many of us are scared. Many of us don't know what to do or what to say, but that doesn't mean we stop dreaming. So I want to encourage you to keep dreaming, keep your dreams alive, and remember that there is a specific calling on you, and it doesn't have to make sense for other people, friends, family, coworkers, your spouse, significant other, your boss, even yourself. Sometimes the things that God reveals to you, you're like, really, God, you want me to do that? But he's not going to tell you something that is not what he wants for you and what he knows is for you and destined for your path and your future. So please do not Put yourself in a corner. Don't let anybody put you in a corner, and don't let anybody put you in a box, because just like Remy, if he can go after his dream and after the calling that was on his life, which was to be a chef, and he went for that despite all the odds and the naysayers and people saying you're not supposed to do this, you're a rat, this is what we do, we go dig through trash, we go dig through this, we go dig through that. Remy was like, absolutely not. I know this is my calling, and I'm going to do everything in my power to get it. We have to have that drive and determination again and go for our dreams. So I want you to dream big, guys. If you can dream it, you can do it, like Walt Disney said. And that has been my favorite quote of Walt Disney since I was younger. And I hope you are encouraged to keep dreaming. Go after that calling, just like Remy did. And know that what you are supposed to be doing, you are supposed to be doing. You were called to it. You were destined to it. And you were supposed to be where you're supposed to be right now. And sometimes gifts might surprise us, and the things that we're doing might surprise us, or what God reveals to us might surprise us, and that's okay to be surprised, but go and do it. Don't sit when God tells you to move. When he tells you to move, you want to move just like that. So the last thing I want to say is, maybe the gifts God has placed inside of you don't fit the boxes people expect you to live in, but that doesn't mean they're wrong. Sometimes it means that they are actually what you were created for. So continue to live in the calling that God has placed on your life and where he is taking you in your career. And it's okay if your career path changes when you get older from what you wanted to do when you were younger. But don't ignore the pull in the places that God keeps putting you in. He keeps putting you in those places for a reason, because you're specifically destined and specifically designed for those rooms and where he is placing you and where he is calling you to be. So please be encouraged to continue to dream, and I cannot wait to see what many and all of you do in your future. Drop a comment down below if Remy is your favorite. Comment down below what your passions and your desires are, what you want to do with your future, the dream that you have, that you still want to strive towards, that you still want to do. And I will continue to pray for that dream that you have, along with the things that God is praying for in your life. And I hope you guys all have a beautiful, beautiful weekend and a beautiful week. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.